Hello, this is Eternity Media Academy, and you're welcome to this class. We're going to be talking about introduction to Photoshop. And basically we'll be looking at the toolbars in the Photoshop, because that's what you're basically going to be using for any design you'll be doing on Photoshop. This Photoshop 2018. Photoshop CC 2018, Creative Cloud 2018. Once you open the Photoshop, this is what comes up. So what do you do next? You go to File and Create New, and after doing that, you have enough options either to pick from photo, print, art and illustration, web, mobile, film and video, or you could create a custom canvas. What is a canvas? A canvas is actually an empty space where you record or where you design. It's an empty space on the Photoshop where you design. Alright, so we are going to create a canvas. Let's create a square canvas of 10 by 10 inches. 10 by 10 inches. Alright, is in inches. Alright, so create. Okay, now we have our canvas. So basically what we're going to be doing today is to go through the toolbar. We call this a toolbar. So we have many items. Where you can select to do one or two things on Photoshop. So starting from the first, okay, before we go there, you want to make sure your Photoshop actually is in the default interface. All right, so you go to Windows, check your workspace, essential default. Okay, this is ticked, so this is our default Photoshop interface. All right, so these are Photoshop 2018, and we have created a canvas, and we have moved an item from our computer into the canvas we created. All right, this is an hamburger. Okay, it's looking so yummy. All right, so the first tool on our toolbar, I told you we're going to be looking at the functions of all these tools today. We call this place the toolbar. All right, so the first on the list is our move tool. The move tool, you could press V on your keyboard as a shortcut. What's the function of a move tool? Is to move any item on the canvas, just like the name implies. You move around. All right, you move around. That's what it does. All right, under it we have the artboard tool, where we can select a particular aspect of the design we want, and it takes out the other part automatically, and you could add more boards. You could add more artboards. This is specifically okay if you want to do a design that has multiple dimensions. I mean, that has multiple parts, like maybe you are designing a brochure or a booklet or something like that. Okay, so these are empty artboards that you can also design on. All right, so to undo that, we just use our Ctrl Z. So that's the first item on the first tool, rather, on the toolbar. This directly under it we have our, we could call this selection tools. We have series of them. We have the rectangular marquee tool. All right, what this actually works for: you click on the design or the image or the subject on your canvas, then you drag to form the rectangular shape. Once you drop it, any other thing you do will be within the perimeters of these rectangular lines that have been drawn. All right, you could right click and copy. For instance, let's go back to our move tool. You see, we have copied a part of this particular image just because we used the rectangular marquee tool. All right, the same thing is applicable to every other part. I mean, every other function under this. You could use the elliptical marquee tool, which gives you a circular shape. All right, let's deselect this, and you could use your single row marquee tool. For this particular one, it selects only a pixel, a row of pixel, an horizontal row of pixel. When we zoom this up, you will see. Let's see. Just keep zooming. Aha, you can see. Okay, now you see the line. Select just a pixel. All right, you could do that both vertically and horizontally. To zoom out and zoom in, you use your control plus the plus and the minus keys. All right, let's deselect this. So that's the work of this. It's a selection tool. All right, under it we have also a set of selection tool, but these ones are actually freehand selection tool. They are freehand selection tool. You could select which path you want them to go. For instance, the first is the lasso tool. What does the lasso tool do? It's a selection tool, but it's a freehand selection tool. You click on your mouse, then you drag to whatever shape you want it to take. Then once the two edges, the starting point and the finishing point, meets, once they join each other, it forms a shape. So you could move this around and right click and either cut or copy. Let's copy. All right, let's go to our move tool and see what we have copied. You see, this is what we just copied. This is what you just copied, moving around. Okay, we don't need all this layer. Let's delete this layer. All right, under it we have the polygon lasso tool. The polygon lasso tool, what differentiates it from the lasso, the other one we just talked about, which is the lasso tool? Okay, the polygon lasso tool, what differentiates from the ordinary lasso tool is that it has an anchor point. Once you click, you could move on a straight line to whatever point you want. Any point, click again, it forms an anchor. It has an anchor point. All right, it's not like the previous lasso tool. That's the basic difference, but their function is quite the same. The magnetic lasso tool, what differentiates this from the two previous one we talked about is it has the ability to recognize edges. It has the ability to follow edges, to see edges. So you keep drawing it, dragging it over the edge. You see, it's following the edge and it's clipping automatically. For instance, if you make a mistake and it comes like it, what do? You press your backspace until it's back to its original point. All right, keep pressing your backspace. Yeah, it's back to the original point. Then you could continue drawing your line. All right, so basically this tool up here and the tool down here, they are selection tool. They are selection tool that can be used on your design. The one up is a move tool. All right, so we've come finally to the end of the first part of introduction to Photoshop, considering the toolbar. All right, so we talked about the move tool for moving items. All right, we talked about the tools under the rectangular marquee tool, the elliptical marquee tool, the single row marquee tool, the single column marquee tool, all for selection. All right, then right under it we talked about the lasso tool, which is a freehand selection tool, the polygon lasso tool, which is also a freehand selection tool with an anchor point, and we have the magnetic lasso tool, which is also a freehand selection tool that has the ability to see edges. All right, thank you very much for listening to this class. I will see you next time. We're going to discuss the other part of the we're going to discuss the other part of the toolbar. We're going to discuss the other part of the toolbar next time. For more information and for you to get a notification, you could click the subscribe button on this page, so anytime we upload any educative video, you easily be notified. Thank you. This is Eternity Media Academy. Click the like button if you like this video and share it to